Well, good morning, everybody. It's Danny Wanda back from Pecan Grove. Guys, I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on the building that we're putting up here to cook our syrup in. I got the gravel in here now. We had some gravel brought in, and we got the body. It's not leveled up. I want to kind of get it packed down, then we'll level it all in like it needs to be leveled in. Because if you build a furnace, it needs to have a good gravel base to it. Well, I went ahead and installed. We had a light pole took down on the property here by the power company. I went ahead and put me 3 poles in the ground to mount my syrup mill on. Now, that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to have to do some notching and stuff because the bottom of the cane mill is not perfectly flat. But I wanted to get it mounted. I got them cut off. All of them's level. Got to put a level on top of them. They're all level. So what I decided, I didn't want the cane mill sitting out in the weather. So I decided to come on out another 6 foot. And I put 3 more posts here, so that we can extend this roof down to cover up the cane mill. So since we started doing the work on it, got it refinished and everything, we don't want it sitting out in the weather. So the point I'm at now is up here. When I bought all this, I ordered 4x6s to go on the top of all this up here. Well, guys, I want to keep this. This is my last hurrah, okay? Me and Mr. Chris went in the woods, and we cut down some pine trees and brought them up here, and him and Jesse peeled them for me, and then we notched them and put them up. Well, I kind of would like to keep the theme. Now, I don't have anybody here but just me and Ms. Wanda, but on this part right back here, I've cut these all off level across here. I would really like to replicate something I saw when I was in my 20s. Some elderly men in my neighborhood at the time, in their 70s, built a syrup building out of peeled pine trees. And what I would like to do is to replicate that, because I remember what they did. One of the gentlemen owned some nice timber, and they went into the woods and they found the trees, and they cut a tree that would fit across the top of this, and they notched it so that it would fit down on the post, and they put their rafters on top of that. Well, I would like to replicate that here so that I can say that this is as authentic as I can possibly be with it. You know, I had to put the treated posts in the ground, and I could have put light poles because I did have access to them, but it was so much easier to work with something that was square, especially when it comes to putting the metal up around it, the sink on the walls and everything, roof on it. But this one, I think this one, me and Ms. Wanda's fixing to go down in the woods, and we're going to see if we can find a pine tree that I can cut down. Now, I'll have to peel it myself, and it may take me some time to do it, but because I'm not young anymore. But if I can get me a pine tree cut and get it peeled and get it notched, we'll take the tractor and set it up here. I'm not worried about that. But I just want to do it. So let's take a ride on the Ranger and see if we can find us a tree in the woods. See if there were squirrels up there. The leaves on that pecan tree is already turning yellow. Look at them.
Yep.
They got a yellow tint to them. Yeah.
Well, it is September.
I guess it is. Yeah,
I mean, fall starts in a week.
Yeah. tall trees in here. It's a shame some of these have done gone to waste that fell in the pond down here.
But look at your elderberries. I mean, beauty berries.
Beauty
Look
berries.
at beauty berries.
No elderberries.
Look at the beauty berries. Anybody needed beauty berries, there's plenty of them all through these woods. There are berries everywhere right now. And this is the old pond. This is where you and Chris come?
Yeah, me and Chris got some of the trees out of here. It's big enough to use that I can get to with a tractor. I've got to be able to get to it with the tractor. We cut these tops out in here.
And we're actually in the old pond?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're in it. See, here's where we cut one of them down. We cut one down up yonder, one right here. I just was going to look around. These are all popcorn trees in here. This is a curse of the South.
They got to come out anyways.
All of them got to come out. Thought maybe somewhere in here.
People want to know what a popcorn tree is. This is it. It's got all these little...
I guess we're going to have to look on the other side of the road because I don't see anything over here.
Some of those right there are not big enough.
Well, they're not straight enough.
Oh.
And if I cut it, I can't get to it. I have to have it where I can get to it with the tractor. Get it out.
And these on the ground you said are dead, so I mean they're done.
Too rotten.
They've done started rotting, and you don't need something like that.
Right.
These fell during the storm or because of damage or something.
We'll have to go over there behind the pond and look behind the pond.
And y'all, there's plenty of pine trees. He's just looking for a specific pine tree.
I guess we're going to have to go over behind the pond.
Yeah, because you need something close enough you can get the tractor to, and I don't think you can get the tractor in here unless you can just pull with a chain.
Not without having to do some pushing and clearing. Right here. It's got a bad place on the bottom of it, but if it's cut off up above it.
It looks pretty straight.
I don't know if I can get 16 feet. See where 16 feet, if my tape measure will go that high.
Well, it looks like it might. Oh, you ain't got there yet.
Nope, I'm at 15 right there.
Can you go one more?
If it didn't have that bad spot on it, I'm gonna be too little time I get up yonder.
You can't make it work?
I can't make that one work. Let me see how straight it is. It's got a
Touch of a bow way on
got
up.
a crook in it there. We can't really use it.
But it's right here on the edge that you
It's
got to
right on the
clean
edge. I was
out
hoping when
anyway.
I saw it that we could use it.
Because you got to clean all this out to further the food plot back here.
Yeah. So
That one's bust.
too many limbs. Starting anywhere up
This is so green and pretty.
Oh, ain't the green?
I don't know how much it's showing on camera, but all of it is green, green, green. All the way down.
Yep.
Even the ones that you planted a week later.
Yeah.
Actually is probably as green as all the others. And then your corn.
Oh, the corn's coming up like crazy. You can't stop that Danny corn.
We're leaving the corn for rabbit food and cow food. So this is amazing.
It is. We'll have some greens if everything stays out of it. Oh, I see greens. Well, guys, I was just taking some shells out of my box here. You know, you need to watch your shells. Look at this. Half of the brass is, I don't know if it's shoved up in the plastic or...
It's a definite defect.
It's a definite defect. I mean, you couldn't even, look at that. The metal's all crushed. That's dangerous to shoot.
So pay attention.
Pay attention when you take them straight out of the box.
These are on an old fence row that will have to be cleaned out eventually.
This one's got a big cat face in it.
Okay, that's a no.
That's a no.
This one, good size, but
it looks all right, but boy, nope, crooked as a dog's hind leg.
another no.
Another no. That one's in such bad shape there. It's a no. Oh, man, gonna be too little up there, but it's straight as a pencil.
Okay, a no.
Man. Oh.
We're squirrel hunting while we're looking for pine trees, just saying. Ground.
Yeah, look at the ground.
Spider webs everywhere.
Oh, that's perfect.
Is that your tree?
That's the tree, and I would rather have the oak tree than the pine tree.
Yeah, because we've got to take some out of this field. And that is going to be your tree. Easy to get to, straight.
Yeah, good and straight.
Needs to come out so that we
need
can
to move the Ranger.
Have this cleared up and let the oak go.
this tree is leaning toward my neighbor's property, but I believe I can turn it around.
So which way is it gonna fall?
I'm gonna try to bring it right out here.
So where do I need to stand?
I would get back over right over here, but
All right, so
depends on which way the wind starts blowing. I'm gonna try to take it this way.
okay, but I'm gonna stay with this tree so that I can kind of stay behind the tree.
Okay. You have to hold it. I'm cutting it exact. Okay. This may take me some time. This is an older tree, got thicker bark.
I mean, it's almost like a plastic film there.
Mm-hmm. The further up it I get, probably the easier it'll be. It's just that this bottom down here is so bad.
It's thick, isn't it? Or grown into
here,
the tree.
This here is thick at the base of it. Yeah, that's thick there.
Pretty wood.
It is beautiful. Pine, you know, pine makes a good wood. I guess that's why we built so many houses out of it.
Pine forest everywhere.
Naturally, well, it's regenerative. That's what I like about it. It's just, if I had $1 for every tree I ever peeled, I'd be rich. I mean, technically there is an art to it, you know, so that you don't wear yourself totally out. The first peel down through the middle of it is always the hardest because you're trying to get your system established. And you're having to tear your way through the bark. I was hoping to find a tree that didn't have all the knots in it, but you can't always have everything you want. Makes it easier when there's no knots.
Right there, you're hitting knots.
Yeah. You hit those knots with that peeler, it makes it really tough.
It's nice.
It's the right time of the year. Okay, I finished peeling it. It didn't take but about 15 minutes to peel it.
Wasn't as bad as you thought?
No, because I did it in long strips. It wasn't no bad deal. So what I've done, you know, you think a pole is straight until you put a string on it. When you put that string on it and you look down it, then you can tell it ain't straight as you thought it was. So I found what I believe to be the straightest side of it facing in the other direction right there. And I have what's called 10-inch, I have 10-inch lag bolts to bolt this thing down through the top into the top of my post over yonder. So what I did was I measured from this side up 4 1/4 inches, something like that. So I want about 6 inches of lag bolt to be in the post. And I took my level and I laid it across the end of the tree after I put 2 boards on the side of it where it wouldn't roll. Those are classified like dogs on the side. And I took my level and I marked from here to here. I got me 2 marks, and I put my 2 screws in on this side right here. And then I come down to the other end. And I measured up the same distance, the 4 1/4 inches down here on the end, and I put me a pencil mark there at level. So now the tree is sitting there, it's completely level across there. And I put a screw on it right across from that mark, and put a screw across from this mark. And I pulled.
It shows it ain't the line.
No, the string, that on the end don't mean nothing. It's so right here's what matters. The string's just pulled around the end of the log. I can move it anywhere.
Gotcha.
Now that I have the string pulled, this pole is laying, and the string is perfectly level on both ends of it. Then I can come to the middle, because I have a post at 8 foot to the center of the post in the middle. And I can measure out 2 3/4. I went 3 inches out just to give myself a little space. I went 3 inches out, and I'm able to mark this here. And the string tells me the exact depth I need to go on it on both sides for all 3 notches to be perfectly level on this tree. When I flip this tree over, all 3 of those notches will sit down perfectly level on the top of my post. Now I may have to take a hatchet and go back to the top of the tree across there and just kind of like chip it off a little bit across there to get it perfectly smooth for my rafters to sit on. But this is how you get your notches to be level. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the string down, I'm going to take the screws out, and then I'm going to take the chainsaw and I'm going to notch all this stuff down, and we're going to chip it out, and it'll be ready to be drilled and put on top of the post.
You've done this a time or two.
Huh?
You've done this a time or two.
Well, it's not my first rodeo.
Sharp axe is good.
All right.
Both the ends come out pretty smooth.
Yeah, the ends did well. They did real well.
Too far the other way.
Ugh. The outside's what I gotta watch, not this side. Okay, I'm good over here.
The middle's just a little, but you did bump
The middle
the.
is,
You bumped the post a little.
yeah, let me. The main thing is that all my posts are straight.
You think it's good?
That is good. Now you get it all put on there without it coming off of there. Let me get this tractor out of the way. Well, guys, we got it up there. A little bit of a challenge, but nothing the equipment can't handle. I love when a plan comes together, all the notches fit perfect. That's what I like. And now I've got to drill through the tops of them. I'm gonna, you know, I gotta line it up just a little bit better than what it is, but I'm gonna drill holes through the top of it and put my long lag bolts down in it, and then I'll put a metal strap over the top of it on top of that because we're in hurricane zone. And then I'll be ready for my rafters. That's what I'm excited about. I'm trying to get this on so that I can get the measurement for how long my rafters has got to be. And I can order the rafters and everything and hit them in here, and the lathing to go on the top of it. And then comes the daunting task of getting the metal on it. And once we get the metal on it, then I'll bring my cane mill out here and I'll set my cane mill up and I'll get ready to start pouring the platform there for the, or the footing for the actual syrup pan. So we're a little ways off, but I may not order the metal right now for the sides because I want the air to be flowing up under it because it's still hot out here. It's like screaming hot right now. And I might just order the rafters and lathing and the metal for the top and just go ahead and get the top on it before I actually, you know, do anything else around the sides of it. But then again, I might order it all. I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned because they're saying we might have a possible hurricane coming in the end of September, 1st of October. And I would hate to have just the roof on it and not the metal around the sides to stiffen it up, and then it gets squalled all around, crooked and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys from Pecan Grove.